You don't need a huge store. Like you don't need thousands of products. I did an interview on my channel with the individual Zachy, and he's like, look, he's doing 88,000 a month. And he's like, hey, like we do this off like 2 or 3 products.
What's going on, everybody on YouTube and iTunes? Steve Raiken here. Welcome to episode number 9 of the Raiken Profit Show. Today we have a special guest, my good longtime friend, Jason Bracht. Jason's been killing it for a long time. He's been doing a lot of various things in the e-commerce fields. Right now, he specializes in Shopify and Facebook ads, and he has several e-commerce stores. But we go way back in the day. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Jason's actually one of the first few people who taught me a lot about Kindle publishing. And at one point when I had first met him, I actually hired him to do a little coaching for me. And he taught me about CreateSpace and audible.com, which is selling physical and then audiobooks. So very grateful to have you on. Jason's been killing it and really, really excited for this show. The title of the show is How Jason Bracht Makes $15,000 per month with a drop shipping business. So we're going to talk about what drop shipping is, his business model, if it's something that's right for you. But without further ado, what is going on, my main man? How are you?
Man, that was a great introduction, dude. I wish people would introduce me like that everywhere I go, man. I might just, hire someone.
You're blushing, man. I see your cheeks.
Well, the beard's kind of keeping it. So thank God for that, dude, or else I'd be very embarrassed. But yeah, man, glad to be here, man. It was great chatting with you kind of before catching up. And yeah, man, I'm excited to hopefully deliver a lot of value to your audience, man, and just drop a lot of knowledge that I've acquired in the last 10 years of doing this. So
awesome. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And for people who are watching this on YouTube, you might be looking at him like, he looks familiar. He actually has quite a few very popular videos on YouTube. And what's your YouTube channel name, Jason?
Just type my name in. I've got a crazy thing going. It's a long story, but just type my name in, man, and you'll find me on YouTube. So
awesome. Cool, man. So why don't we dive into your story? Maybe we'll start with how you first got started making money online. I had told the people listening about, Kindle publishing and whatnot, but what else have you done? How did you make your first dollar online? And then let's just transition through your story in terms of where you are today and how you're making $15,000 a month with your dropshipping business via Shopify.
So my first dollar, probably like a lot of people, probably came from eBay. So I started way back in, the day when, things aren't, online shopping isn't what it is today, where everybody's completely accepted to it. So just eBay was where I started. And then really shortly after that, I started my first online e-commerce store. This is in 2008. This is when I got out of the military, and this is right during the height of the recession. And I'm like, you know what? I need to create a business. I need to make sure that, I saw stuff on eBay, and I'm like, you run into problems with eBay and all the feedback. And I'm like, yeah, I need to create my own entity. And it is not as easy as it is today to create an online store. So my first store looked ridiculous, but I began to make sales. In fact, I have Gmail, so I can go back in and see when my first sales were, because you'd get the email to your thing.
That's cool.
So it's really cool to go back there and see that. But yeah, so to answer your question, eBay was how I made my first dollar online.
So you made your first dollar with eBay, and then you found out quite quickly that it wasn't your cup of tea, which, I think we all have to experience that at one point or another. You try certain things. Like for me, retail arbitrage, there are people killing it, and they still are, but I don't know, it just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? So you tried out eBay and you weren't really vibing with it too much. How did you get to the Kindle publishing? Because I know you had a lot of success with that, and you were, like I said, you were one of the guys who taught me a lot about CreateSpace and ACX, which I'm very grateful for, because I still make money every single month from what you taught me. So how did you get to the Kindle publishing point?
Yeah, so right around 2013, the end of 2013, my son was born in September. And so I was still doing my e-com, still bringing in money from that. But I'm like, you know what? I need to make more money. I need to create more passive income. And I was just sitting, eating starting a YouTube video one night. And you know how you get the recommended videos and stuff, and some stuff started popping up into my thing. And I'm like, wow, kind of a light bulb. I don't know if you've ever had that where it's just like, oh my God, I need to do this, and
Yeah.
I need to do it now. And to me, that's like a sign from the universe, man. I'm not a big woo-woo spiritual guy, but I think that's like a sign, like, hey, like you need to do it.
Right.
You need to take action. And I literally started taking massive action. I watched every single video, and it's not like it is today where there's like so many videos out. I was watching like webinars or like random people and just like piecing it together, going on Warrior Forum and figuring it out, bought some courses, all that, and started releasing books. And then within 6 months, I was making 10K. No, actually within 3 or 4 months, I was making 10K. Then it doubled up to 20K in 6 months. And just doing kind of what a lot of people in your audience probably knows, doing the outsourcing of the books and really passive income. And, and then I started making little YouTube videos and not expecting it to do really anything. And people started watching it a lot, thanks to you shouting me out to your audience back then. And, yeah, so that's how I got started in Kindle.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I remember you used to have the mastermind groups and everything. And man, like I was saying before the show, I wish that I don't know about you, but like I wish I could go back in time to like those sweet Kindle publishing days, like when it was brand new. Like I still make, a couple $1,000s a month from mostly from CreateSpace and ACX. I don't make nearly as much from Kindle, which is just a digital ebook. But with the knowledge I have now, like, you ever wish like sometimes you could just go back in time and just like apply what you know? Like, what are your thoughts on that with Kindle and everything?
It's a good point, man. I mean, I don't really think like I wish I could go back in time, but what it makes me realize is like when there's an opportunity, like a new opportunity, don't wait, like jump feet first into that opportunity, whatever it is, like, like go on Google Trends. Like I'm not a big trendy, like you got to follow and hop on trends. But if there's an opportunity, like there's a new platform, like there's something that's out there that you can harness and jump in, like we did. And it's not as easy now. It's not as easy to do what we did and make a bunch of money just because there's more people doing it, there's more competition. But if you can be one of those first people, like sort of like, FBA or Amazon selling or stuff like that, where you're the first one to get on Amazon and rank a product and get reviews, it's a lot easier than it is now, so yeah, man, I think about that a lot, and I try to apply it to what I'm doing now. It's like, what we'll talk about with like stuff like, ClickFunnels, and e-com and stuff like that. Not too many people are doing that, but that's an opportunity that I think can be big for people.
Right. So speaking of opportunities, we'll dive into the actual topic of the show, which is how you make, $15,000 a month from your e-commerce Shopify dropshipping business. Let's actually define what drop shipping is for everybody who's tuned in right now. What is drop shipping? What is Shopify? Like, what exactly is it that you're doing to make money?
So drop shipping, and we're just taking products from sites. The one that most people probably know is AliExpress.com. You take a product, you literally have no inventory cost or anything like that. And the beauty of it is you can test thousands of products or hundreds of products or whatever you want to do. The more that you test, the better chance that you will have to be successful. It's all about the law of averages. So that's a big takeaway. It's like the more stuff that you do, the more it's kind of like a ticket, a lottery ticket or whatever you want to call it, like the more chances you have to win. So yeah, drop shipping is basically taking a product from an AliExpress. You can drop ship from pretty much anywhere, Etsy, all different type of places, putting it on your online store, having someone buying it. And instead of putting your information in, you're putting the customer's information in, and they're sending it over to the customer. And that's how I've been making a living basically for the last 10 years. I've do other stuff like Kindle, but yeah, that's really drop shipping in a nutshell. Shopify is an online platform. It's the one that I use. It's the one that pretty much everybody in e-com is using right now. They have so many good features, good customer service. Their apps will make you thousands of dollars a month if you install those and use them. And I can talk about, which ones I use and the best ones and stuff like that. But yeah, Shopify is a great platform.
So what's the main difference for somebody who's selling on eBay right now, or they're selling on Amazon? What's the difference between that versus having a drop shipping business? Maybe talk about, driving traffic, the various products, not having to ship. Like, what are the main differences between the two?
Yeah, I mean, I think they all can coexist, but like the thing that I always like, I'm a big fan of like having my own kind of entity. I think, and students of yours and viewers and fans of yours have probably had issues with eBay and Amazon, whether it's a customer giving them a bad review that was probably unwarranted. And you just have that worry on your shoulder of like, what could happen or like whatever. So with Shopify and kind of owning your own thing, to me, that's why I like that platform. There's some downsides. It's a lot easier sometimes to get traffic on your Amazon store or eBay because you got that sort of infrastructure. But yeah, I think that I would highly urge anybody out there that's interested in passive income to check out Shopify or a platform like that.
So you would say that doing something like drop shipping or having your own Shopify store, granted that you're not, fulfilling items yourself, well, that wouldn't be drop shipping, right? Like if I had, say I sourced items from China and I had them at my house or my warehouse, and then I had a Shopify store and I drove sales, via Facebook ads and sold it, and then I shipped it to them. That's not drop shipping, right?
Technically, that's not drop shipping. That would be, I guess, more, I don't know what you would call, wholesale.
Just a normal transaction. Yeah.
Yeah. That's smart too, though. Like if you have a really good product, and I've done this and I do this right now where I get stuff made over in China. I get it shipped over to a warehouse I have one in Vegas and one in, not my own personal one, but one that I use.
Like a fulfillment center
in Memphis.
Oh, cool.
So what they do is they send that out. So that's kind of like another way you can do it. Like if you find something crushing it, or if you feel like you have an idea that's just too good that you need to get it, go ahead and do that and then send it over. So that could kind of almost technically be drop shipping. But the true sense of drop shipping is basically not having any inventory costs and be able to test multiple, products.
Yeah. For the viewers who are watching who do merch by Amazon, and are you familiar with merch by Amazon?
Oh yeah. The t-shirts. Yeah.
Like my Shopify store that I run, I actually sell mostly t-shirts and hoodies and various things like that. And I use a website called Custom Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And think of it just as Custom Cat being kind of like the Amazon warehouse. When you list an item or you upload a design to Amazon, when it sells, they screen print it, they pick it, package, ship it, deliver it, and you get paid. With my Shopify store, I have the same thing. The only difference is instead of Amazon driving traffic through all their various sources, I'm running Facebook ads or doing pretty much email marketing to drive traffic to my offer. And then when it sells, Custom Cat will actually print the design for me, ship it out and everything like that. So transitioning over, like, what do you think are the best things to drop ship? Like I'm doing mostly apparel right now. I have moved into jewelry and different like physical products and different things like that just because of my niche. How do you find a niche? How do you figure out what are the best types of products to sell if you're going to drop ship, in a Shopify store or whatnot?
Okay. So yeah, first of all, like kind of staying on the print on demand, I'll tell you some of the best print on demand products like right now would be like shoes. I don't know if you're doing that or not, but you can use an app called Pillow Profits.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. To do shoes. They have like the kind of the UGG type boots. The jackets are doing really well. Like kind of like a nice, like fleece line jacket do really well. Like t-shirts obviously do really well, but I think this is my opinion. People might be getting a little like burned out with t-shirts.
It's getting flooded. It's just the t-shirts.
So you have to say like, okay, what other value can I give the customers? So I shoes, purses, wallets, stuff like that. But, so that would be what I would recommend for custom, print on demand stuff.
Right.
As far as, what niches to get into and what to sell. Okay. So I'll just tell you what I would do if like I'm talking to your audience, like if they haven't started a store, like if they're like, what the heck do I do? So a lot of people say general store. I would go into a niche because it's a little easier to target. In other words, let's say you wanted to get into, a good example would be like golfing or something like that. When you get into the golfing niche, you're going to get into a group of, number one, super passionate people. Everybody's heard this, but like people that love golf, people that go out and do, 18 holes on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, finding products that, here's a big thing. You got to have a wow product, especially if you're talking about driving people from Facebook. Facebook is interruption marketing. Facebook is, those people are on there to look at pictures of cats and, watch funny videos. So if you're selling a product on Facebook, it has to be the best example I've ever, and we talked about this offline, is the kiosk at the mall. Someone's walking by your kiosk at the mall. They're there to go to like Foot Locker, like Macy's or whatever. They're not there to buy like a little remote control airplane. But if it's a wow factor, they might stop and buy that. And that's what you have to look at on Facebook ads. So you have to go through, I would recommend AliExpress because you can get, very cheap products to test out and then throw up into your ads and get them on your store and just see what works. The other thing too, kind of off subject or, kind of going on a tangent, but you don't need a huge store. Like, you don't
Mm.
need thousands of products. I did an interview on my channel with the individual Zachy, and he's like, look, he's doing 88,000 a month. And he's like, hey, like, we do this off like 2 or 3 products, having a sales funnel, so finding ones that work, maybe upselling. So maybe you sell like a little golf ball, like a golf ball that's like kind of cool.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The sales funnel. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So a funnel could be like going with the golf example, like, so they go in, they buy like a lower ticket, item, like let's say like a glow in the golf. I don't golf, so forgive me, any golfers out there, but like a glow in the dark golf ball. Okay. For example, something kind of cool, unique, whatever. And then they buy that. Now, when someone gives you your money, gives you money, it's a lot easier to make that second sale. Like, it's hard to make that first one, but now they've trusted you. They've taken their credit card out, they've put it in the machine, they buy this golf ball. And then when they buy that, they add it to the cart. You might say, well, hey, like, get, this cool, like, caddy or whatever, this cool like golf club now. And now you've increased your average order value from $9.95 to maybe $29.95. And then you might, get them into your email marketing. So, the funnel it's where it's at. It's where, like, when you see guys that have like these huge Shopify dashboard numbers, that's what they're doing. They're not just selling like usually one product. They're selling, multiple products.
Yeah, I found the people that are really successful, just from friends of mine and just like from bumping up my average order per sale and whatnot, is the money is in the funnel. I see a lot of people actually using their front end offer as like a tripwire in a sense. And what I mean by that is it's a low dollar offer, like something someone's not going to like throwing 10, $15. They're not going to worry about it. Like, once you start spending 50 or 100, you got to be like, honey, talk to the wife. Like,
Exactly.
can I spend this money? So you get them in with the tripwire, get them excited, create a good customer experience, and then offer them other, solutions to their problems and whatnot. Do you do a lot of email marketing behind the scenes to like, for example, I don't know if people realize this or not, but with Facebook, if you get somebody's email, like say you have an email list of like 3,000 people who have purchased your golf ball, you could upload that email list to Facebook, and then you can retarget your customers with other offers, or you can create lookalike audiences off of those customers. Essentially what Facebook does is they go in and they take all these little data points and then they replicate it based on like a 2 million person audience. Like, do you do any of those things at all? Can you talk about it?
We do all of that. Yeah. So I've got multiple stores in different niches. I've got print on demand stores. I've got a whole bunch going on. And so, yeah, we do all of that. Email marketing. I know you did that excellent interview with Justin where he talked about like, yeah, you're making a lot of money on Facebook, but you're also spending a lot of money to get that traffic. So if you can take that traffic you've already bought, done all that hard work, for whatever, and then send out an email and make 5, 10, whatever $1,000 or even whatever $100, if you're just starting out, that's money you would have never had. So yeah, we're big into email marketing. There's an app that, I listened to the interview you did with Justin, and he talked about Klaviyo, which is a good,
it's a great
one. There's another one called Smarter Mail too that I utilize, and they do really well too. They're not as in depth, but you can send out daily emails. You can send out, however you want. It's just very automated. So I use that one as well. And that one, it's just like we talked about with Shopify. And the reason I use it, it's really because of their apps, man, to really be honest with you, because you can plug an app into your store, whether it's an upsell app, whether it's an email app. Wheelio, I don't know if you use that on your store or not, collecting email addresses, but those apps make you thousands of dollars just by pushing a button, So now if you're new and you're doing this, it's not going to do that. But once you build up your store, then yeah, it will.
That's one of the cool things. I know a lot of people that are listening, Jason, they're probably doing, eBay or Amazon or arbitrage or maybe private label on Amazon. But the cool thing about having a Shopify store is that control to make those little tiny tweaks to control the sales process. When you're selling on Amazon or eBay, you do not control the sales process whatsoever. You have no follow-up with that customer. You can't start upselling them through private messages on eBay. You're going to get your account banned super
real quick. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your success stories, right? So you had shared with me previously, and the title is, you're making 15K a month off of your e-commerce dropshipping store. Let's talk about exactly, kind of like how you're doing that, and like maybe talk about some success stories.
Yeah. So, well, I'll kind of get into the success story, but, one of my main stories, the one that we're talking about right now, I had some issues with Google a while ago. I got Google slapped. And
Ooh.
basically, and this is a lesson. I want to be completely transparent with your audience. Back in the day when I was young and dumb and didn't know anything about anything, you would buy backlinks to get your links up. And well, I'm thinking, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then Google's like, bop, slaps me, right? And my traffic went from, we were getting 1,000 organic each day to like, now I'm like getting people from Bing and Yahoo like coming to my website, right?
Wow.
Because Google pretty much the Panda or Penguin, whatever the heck it was called. So I'm getting all these people from like Bing or Yahoo, and people that use Bing or Yahoo are like older people that have just like bought their first Microsoft computer, and that's an installed browser. And so, no offense, I mean whatever, but you're not getting Google. You need to be on Google, So anyways, I worked, I cleaned my site back up. I followed all their stuff. And with this is like over the course of like 5 years, as we continued. But in the last couple of years, we've just been getting a ton of organic. We do a ton of content marketing, a ton of, stuff like that, YouTube videos to our products and whatnot. And, we do around 15,000 a month on that store. And then I've got several other stores that we're doing thousands a month that we're just growing and getting those going. We're using ClickFunnels to create, really, kind of dialed in sales funnels. And so, yeah, man, I guess the success stories would just be basically like having stores on autopilot that I really don't have to nurture all that much.
How do you have your stores on autopilot? Like, can you explain to people what that means in terms of your business?
Yeah, once you build your store up and you kind of have that ecosystem, you have the email list, you have your Facebook ads going, you kind of have your audience, like we talked about, uploading your email list. And guys, this might sound like really like we're speaking Mandarin, but like it's really not that hard. Like I'm not really smart, but like I just follow like just general instructions and go on YouTube, watch videos like yours and other people's that teach you guys how to do this stuff. And I just learn it.
What's the one thing that you would say, like, who's this business for? Like, what's one thing you love about this business? And what's one thing maybe that you don't like about this business? I mean, obviously, we were talking about passive income and like you can automate it in a sense. You get your Facebook ads up. Like, I know you love that. What is something you don't like about this business? Who's this business not for, maybe?
So what don't I like about e-com? To me, I have to ratchet myself down because like I see these stores, I'm very passionate in my own life. I have a lot of hobbies and I like, niches and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, I would love to get into this niche or whatever. So for me, it's like, I have to say, dude, okay, you can only have like 5 stores. You can only have like 6, I don't want to, like to manage all that can be, to me, just like manage it. So I said, I have them on autopilot. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, autopilot. When I have them on autopilot, yeah, I have VAs, I have people that do the orders and process orders for me and stuff like that. But, that can be, expensive to have a huge team. Now, granted, if you're making the money, it's fine. So yeah, to me, the one thing I don't like about it would probably be just managing like at this point, but I'm going to grow a bigger team to help me with that. So right now, like the customer service can be in it. Actually, you know what? Customer service. You're gonna get a lot of people say, hey, where's my order? You're going to get a lot of emails and it's just like
so many. You just shipped it.
Exactly. So you have to have like some template emails ready to go saying, hey, like here's when we're going to deliver. And so you're working with like multiple different vendors and stuff like that. So that would probably be my number one thing. The business would be for, I guess, anybody out there who, wants to make passive income. Maybe you want to supplement your Amazon or eBay business because that can be done as well. Like, trust me, I love Amazon and eBay. Like they're great platforms. But, if you want to delve into something a little bit different that you can have a little bit more creative control over, and if you've maybe mastered Amazon or eBay, this is definitely something you can do because, you've acquired a lot of knowledge. So I would say it's almost for pretty much anybody, man, that wants to create passive income. You don't need a ton of money to do it. You don't need to buy products. So
for somebody who is just getting started with their Shopify store, or maybe they've been doing it for a couple of months, maybe they're having a little bit of success, what are a couple strategies that are working really, really well right now in your business to grow it, to drive sales? I know we've talked about a couple of things, but what really stands out to you if someone was asking you like, hey, like what are some of the best tips for me to grow my store to like generate more revenue?
I would say one of the number one things you can do, because most people aren't going to be able to go right into Google and rank high for their niche, would be on Facebook. And one of the best ways to target your audience is to do intersecting targeting. And so basically you have an interest. Let's say you're in the golfing niche and you put like 10 interests up there. You got Tiger Woods, you got TaylorMade, you got Ernie Els, you got whatever. And then you narrow that down by an interest. And then you narrow that down. Do you do that with your stuff?
I've experimented with it. I do a lot of lookalike audiences, and I've had a lot of success with that. But I've heard a lot of people having success with the intersecting interests as well.
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is you're creating that super fan. So a lot of people will go out there, they'll get excited, they'll look, I want to run a Facebook ad, I want to do this and that, and they're like, oh, cool. Well, what they do is they target like 500,000 people, and they're just targeting just random stuff. And it's like you have to create a super fan, especially if, like, that's why I recommend niches. So you know, Pokemon, whatever you're doing, you intersect, and it'd be a lot easier. And maybe I can do a video, or we can do a video someday showing people exactly how to do this. But man, that's a powerful way. That's what's working right now. It's just creating those type of audiences where you are putting basically you're putting the right product in front of the right people at the right price. That would be like the general like thing that I would say is the golden rule.
What about for somebody who they're just not having success with Facebook ads, or maybe they don't like Facebook ads? What would your advice be for them? Would it be building out the funnel, building out the email list? Would it be learning how to drive traffic with, content marketing? Like, what advice would you give them?
If they're not having success with Facebook ads, I would say that probably they're not testing enough products. Because if you're like on a pure drop shipping level, or even like, I know, your business with the print on demand, like 4 out of 5 products are probably not going to hit.
Even more than that for me.
Even more. Exactly. And that's the case with a lot of people. It's a grind game. You're not going to go out there, and a lot of people getting into this are going to get very attached to that first product, and they're going, oh my Lord, this should work. Well, if it doesn't, it's all zeros and ones. It's all numbers. It's all like just basically putting stuff out there, putting products out there. Law of averages. You might fail 98 times, but on those last 2 doors that you knock on, they might open up, and that might be a product that makes you $50,000. So I would say if they're not having success, they're not probably testing enough products, and they're not continuously educating themselves. I literally watch videos, audio podcasts, perpetual traffic podcast is really good, digital marketer, and, just learn and educate yourself. There's other stuff too. And, we can maybe get into that, like Google AdWords. And we talked about this offline, like Bing. Those people are intent buyers. They're shopping, they're typing in your keyword into their search engine, and they're ready to buy. So that nobody's really talking about that right now, but that's something that my team and we're really focused on and trying to get that going, because, it makes a lot of sense,
Cool. Yeah. Awesome tips right there. Hey, Jason, if you could go back in time with the knowledge you now have with your drop shipping business, and could give yourself one piece of advice to follow regarding your drop shipping business when you had first started, what would it be?
It would be to work harder and test more stuff. That would be it. Like Ty Lopez talks about this. He's like, the person that experiments the most wins. You run the most experiments, whether it's in any part of your life, physical fitness, diet. I do stuff on my channel, like I do 100, like I'm doing a challenge right now where I'm doing 100 push-ups a day and 25 pull-ups a day. You know what I mean? And I'm getting results. It's just an experiment. And so that would be my advice for myself, is just like do more, like work harder, keep your nose to the grindstone, and just test more stuff.
Yeah. The testing is like really the best piece of advice I've heard you say. And the reason why I say that is because, Justin, who I had interviewed on my channel, and you had referenced that you had watched it too. Do you know how many products he tests per day? I don't know if he mentioned this on the channel, but he told me behind the scenes.
You know what? I had a conversation with him on the phone one time, and he's like, dude,
a lot.
He told me you need to be testing 15 a day. So is that what it was, or is he doing?
He told me 40 a day.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So maybe this was after, because I was struggling with my Shopify store, and I was like, he's like, how many products you testing? And I was like, well, I've tried like 2 or 3 in the last week. He's like, dude, we're doing like 40 a day. And I'm like, wow. He's like, you gotta just test and find the ones that work. You know what I mean? So
he's right. Yeah.
It's just crazy. That's really good advice right there. What do you think is the biggest mistake that you've made over the last, well, you started your store in 2008, so you've been running it for a long time. If you could pick one thing out, and I'm not going to let you cop out with the backlink story. I'm
Man,
going
I was gonna go to that too. Damn, man, you're
I
on.
know you were. I'm not going to give that to you. What do you think is another big mistake that you made, since 2018, it's now 2017, that you would just like to advise people not to make that same mistake when running a Shopify store?
I would say probably just getting comfortable. Talked about that. I had a store getting success, and the quote that I like to use is "good is the enemy of great." So I had a store that was doing good, but then I just kind of like stagnated. And that's why I'm like really big on continuing education and continuing to whether you're doing YouTube videos and stuff, watching your stuff or whatever, and just learning, constantly educating yourself, being in front of the trend, being the person that, we talked about Kindle, being that person, the first one out the chute, and you set yourself up for a lot more success. So I would say that would probably be like the biggest thing that I, wish I could do, is just like, man, because I had such an advantage, man. I knew it. So now I'm kind of late to the game. We've been having some success doing these new stores, but if I would have got back in like 5 years ago, man, you know what I mean? But what are you going to do, man? It's like, I don't beat myself up too much about it, man. I just got to work harder,
Dude, and I mean, this opportunity is huge. Like, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's like, isn't it like less than like 10 or 15% of all sales are still like brick and mortar, something crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
10 years, this
online shopping
opportunity
is
is
going to continue to grow.
it's just gonna blow up even more than it already is. Like Amazon, did you see Amazon stock the other day? They went up like 13% one day.
Yeah, they're
gonna be the first $1 trillion company.
Yeah, dude, they create new products. I mean, they test new stuff all the time. They've, if you read their book or what, not their book, but they did like a biography of Bezos. Yeah. And they talk about like, they failed on a lot of their stuff they've tried, whether new concepts, new products, but man, when they hit one out of the park, like the Kindle or the Echo or whatever, it's a home run. That's what we got to look at. It's like with our businesses, whether you're doing whatever, it's like test more stuff, and you know what, you're gonna be successful if you test more stuff.
Cool. So let's start to talk about how people can actually get started in this business. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of information that's out there. What are some of the best ways for somebody to get started? Obviously, there's a lot of free YouTube videos, there's blogs, you have a program that you're working on. Let's talk about some of the options for people to get started, to first learn about it, and then we'll maybe talk a little bit about your course and what it offers and whatnot.
Yeah, so I would say right now, anybody can go get a free Shopify store right now, a free trial, 14 days. So go around there, play around in the system, get familiar with it, see if it's something that you want to do. Like I feel like their software is very intuitive and very easy to use, but if it's not for you, then maybe you do something else. But go get a 14-day trial. I would say start watching YouTube videos. Start just immerse yourself into the YouTube. Just watch and watch and watch and take notes. Take tons of notes. And maybe test a few products, but get some knowledge first. Don't just go out there, because a lot of times people get super excited, watch a few videos, get a few ideas, test a product, doesn't work, and they're like, "Oh, this doesn't work." They've maybe tried one or two products. It's like, you know what? Like Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan, his rookie year. He worked a lot. So that would be my suggestion, is just get that free trial, watch a ton of stuff, play around with it, and decide if it's for you. If it's for you, go full fledged. Don't put one foot in the water, dive in head first, and try to outwork everybody, because there's people, a lot of people are doing this. So like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's like, how did I get successful? And he's not even talking about like bodybuilding. He's talking about like he was a millionaire in real estate before he was ever in the movies. And he said, you know how I got to be a millionaire? He's like, I applied my bodybuilding. He's like, I did more sets and I did more reps than everybody else. And that's the way you got to look at this, is I'm going to test more products. Justin, look at Justin. He's going to be a millionaire if he's not already right now. 40 products a day, so, and I bet you maybe 35 of them don't work, but the 5 that do make him a ton of money.
And all it takes is that one product to, like you said, your friend, I think his name was Zach, the one who was doing like 88,000 a month. He just has a couple products, 2 or 3 products, and he's making the majority of that from it. So That's really cool. The problem with YouTube and like different things is it's like there's so many things to starting a Shopify store. Like there's just so many little nuances, and people get stuck and then they give up. Talk about your course that you have coming out and everything, and what's going to be in it, and just kind of share what it's about and to see if it's a fit for people who are looking for that kind of like hold my hand, bring me through the whole process thing.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. Like I've bought like all the courses on Shopify in the last 2 years because again, I continue to educate myself, and what I found out with a lot of the courses is they're all like the same. They're like, okay, here's how you set up a store, and then here's how you do the. It's like and there are some really good ones. There's some very good guys out there, but for the most part, they were just kind of following the same structure. So what I wanted to do with my business partner Ben Gothard is literally do what we call total immersion. We're going to do every single thing from zero to growing a store to 6 figures is going to be, you're going to see that. It's kind of like Netflix. You're going to be each Sunday night, we're going to do a live webinar where we're going to show you from A to Z. You're going to follow us every week, and that's going to get uploaded into our online school. We're going to create when we don't do the webinars, we're still going to record ourselves doing it. So we're going to show you every single thing. There's not going to be one stone left unturned, from Facebook, Bing to Google to how to set your store up to how to create an email list, and that's the type of stuff that I like to learn by, is just show me, take me on the ride. So we're going to take you on that ride, and we're putting our own reps on the line. We're saying, hey, we're going to grow this store, so it's going to be. We're trying to set a goal for 6 months to go from zero, no assets, nothing. I'm not gonna take any assets that I have and apply them. It's gonna go from nothing. It's just like anybody.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then getting that to a 6 figures in sales store.
So it's gonna be like a big case study. The course is actually gonna be more of like just a live case study showing everything that you do, from starting the email list to running ads to all the different things, picking the products, the niche. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just cool. Like when you started your store, like if you were to recorded every single thing and showed everybody. So that's kind of what we thought would be a good value proposition for people out there. It's a good walkthrough. And then also, during the webinars, we're going to be able to take questions. And hey, Jason, why did you add that product? And why did you put that variation? And we're going to go into print on demand. We're going to show people how to, all that crazy stuff, man. So we're excited about it. And, hopefully some people are too,
Yeah. Awesome. And what's this program going to be called?
It's going to be called the Ecom Superhero. So we're saying, hey man, we're going to take somebody from, kind of being your average Jane or average Joe and turning them to an ecom superhero, being able to go, and get on your laptop and be able to, you've heard me on the phone, a couple of things going on during our call, and having
I told you to left the sound on. You should have left the sound on for him.
Yeah,
man.
But you would hear a bunch of other notifications and whatnot, and so all the Tinders and stuff now. But no, but seriously, yeah, man, Shopify, it's a good thing, and yeah, man, so it's gonna be
cool.
fun.
Yeah, well, I'll be sure to leave the link to that program, and I'll put it in the description for people on iTunes and on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to look into it if you've enjoyed the show so far. But let's leave people off with a couple more things. Like, let's talk real quick about some of your routines and rituals that you practice every day to be successful, and then we'll just like leave off with maybe some final words of wisdom for people.
Rituals. I like to work out every day. I try to do something every day, man. I'm not trying to be like a competitive bodybuilder, but like I just do stuff like I'm doing a push-up challenge, I'm doing a pull-up challenge, where we're just doing something every day. And what I find with that is that, yes, I'm getting some benefits out of it. Like, my body's changing, I'm getting, whatever, but the discipline, like it might be 11 at night, dude. And like maybe the Cubs lost the other day, and I'm like, but I still got to knock out these 100, I still got to knock out these push-ups. Or these pull-ups. And so what it does is it kind of sharpens that sword. It makes you disciplined. It makes you, so that's something that I would highly recommend, is just get a challenge, man. Do something to challenge yourself. The other thing, rituals, is continuing education. You've heard me talk about it a couple times, man, constantly. And the reason I'm preaching this is because if I ever get away from that, my success, my motivation, everything kind of goes in the toilet, because I'm not using my brain. I'm just kind of, entrepreneurs, like we can get, sometimes we don't have schedules and stuff like that. So continuing to educate myself every day, trying new stuff, man. Like, you big YouTube guy, doing all the cold showers, meditation, trying different stuff and see what works,
I took one today, man. It was brutal.
Dude, I can't get down with that, man. You're 10 times tougher than me. Saunas, I'm big into saunas, though. I like saunas.
I wish my gym, they don't have a sauna, man.
They don't have one?
Huge, well, they do, but it's like 60 degrees. It's like cold.
It's not even worth going into. But if you can actually find a gym with a hot sauna, there's so many benefits to it. Man, I actually did a video on it, but so many benefits, man.
Joe Rogan talked about it.
Yeah, I get a lot of my stuff from Joe Rogan, man. He's
I knew it.
He's an influence, but what else do I do, man? I'm a single dad, man. So I spend a ton of time with my son and trying to, what a lot of times people are like, well, what do you teach your son? It's like, I learned so much from him, man. Just like, how to be happy, how to be present, how to be in the moment, how to have fun, so I just turned 36, and just, getting to that midlife crisis stage, but it makes me try to be young again. It makes me kind of have a second childhood. He just turned 4. So yeah, man, just, really, I'm always trying to stop myself and say, man, how can I be more present? Because dude, this time goes by so quick. It goes by so freaking quick, man. You're going to blink and it's going to be 2028, and you're like, dang, you know what I mean? So like being present, I try to do some journaling. I'm not the best at it, but I use a thing called Day One Journal, where it's an application that you can put on your phone or your computer and just, man, what did I do today? What did I see today? So
cool. Awesome, man. Really, really good tips right there. Yeah. Let's leave them with some final words of wisdom for the folks who are excited about this opportunity. They want to start their own Shopify store. Maybe they want to experiment with drop shipping. They've got some niches already in mind. Let's give some final words of wisdom for people who want to get started. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would just say that you got to come into this with the attitude that you're gonna fail, okay? And it's not gonna be easy in the beginning, but if you persist, if you continue to work at it, you're gonna have a breakthrough and you're gonna get success. And that's not even just with Shopify, like whatever. That's with anything. It's just persist, and the person that stays and the person that continues to grind away is gonna be successful. But also, like, life isn't meant to be a grind. Reward yourself. Like, at the end of the day, like, your brain, like, if you continue to just grind all day and not reward yourself, your brain's gonna be like, F this. Like, scientifically, it's gonna be like, F this. And like, I don't want to do this anymore. So you have to reward yourself, whether it's watching your favorite show at the end of the night, but give yourself an hour to 2 hours each day to do something that, isn't business related or isn't like, just grinding. So that would be, I guess, my words of wisdom.
I wasn't expecting you to say like come in the mindset of just like you're going to fail, but it's like so true with certain things. Like, to give an example, when it was about a year and a half ago, I was getting in a private label and like I failed. Like I chose a product, I'd ordered samples, like I was ready to launch it, and like a whole bunch of like Chinese sellers and people came in and like it was just destroyed. And I like, when you start something new, it takes a lot of time to learn like the easiest things in the world. Like Facebook ads now, like we know it, it's like easy to us, but like for someone's just starting it takes like, could take 20, 30 hours just to learn it. But like my mindset was like, I'm going to kill it with this first product. And when I didn't, like, I kind of like got discouraged, and now I'm back on that path again where I'm going to be launching a product and having the mindset that like, I was just thinking the other day, like, I'm probably going to not have a successful first product. I'm probably going to fail my second product. Like the people that succeed in Shopify and like Justin, like for example, Justin, he was failing for like 8 months and then he spent $5,000, hired a coach and still was failing, but then like figured it out. Like all my good friends, like they always fail. And then they like have a breakthrough. So like, man, like thanks for sharing that. Like it just made me realize that that advice is like so true. Like it's just such a crucial mindset.
Well, what's the quote? The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you got to jump in the ring, and you're gonna get punched a couple times, and you're gonna get knocked down. But it's like you got to get back up. And we talked about some of my failures and stuff like that, and you just talked a couple of years, but you're doing phenomenal right now, and and all that, and you got this cool thing going, man. So I really appreciate you giving me the chance to get down and talk to you today, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. Sorry about your Cubs, bro. But
yeah, dude. I tell people, man, I was like, they won it last year in my lifetime. I've been a fan for a long time. A lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, but man, they won it last year, dude. And if that's all they ever win, I'm gonna die happy, man. That's all I can say.
What a jerk comment on my part. You like congratulate me, and I'm like, just how about those Cubs, bro?
You're a Yankees fan, right?
I do. I'm not a diehard, but
diehard. No, man.
Being from Connecticut.
It's all good, man. Yeah, man, I'm a big sports fan. I always apply a lot of analogies in sports to business and stuff. And if some people aren't sports fans, they don't get it, man. But like Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team, and he maybe the greatest player ever. So you know what I mean. So like you fail and you get back up, and the guys and the girls that continue to grind, continue to work. That's going to be the people that make it. They change the world. And Elon Musk, all these people have had massive issues, man. But you just got to keep taking at bats, giving other sports.
Get the bat off your shoulder, man, and swing. So anyways, thanks, Jason, for coming on the show again, man. Like, you dropped a lot of gold nuggets. Definitely appreciate that. Wish we could have had more time to cover, all the various topics, but maybe we'll have you on again for a follow-up show. But yeah, be sure to check him out on YouTube, Jason Bracht. Also, be sure to be on the lookout for his course. When's that going to be launching?
So what we're doing is we're doing the pre-orders right now, a discount link for any of your followers and subscribers and stuff like that, man. That way they can hook it up and kind of lock in their seat. We're actually starting January 8th. What we were going to do is we don't want to start in the middle of holidays. Because it's going to be kind of almost a live training. Now you can watch the replays and stuff, but I didn't want to start it in December when people are going to be traveling and stuff like that. So we're going to get people in, get people kind of onboarded, get them in the Facebook group and stuff like that. So the live training will start January 8th. And, if you get in early, you're going to get a discount, because once it goes live, we're going to increase the price. And that's not fake scarcity or anything. That's just what we have to charge to make it worth it. And it's going to be worth it. You're going to see two people put their reps on the line and get some success, and show you we're going to fail and we're going to get successful, and you can follow our blueprint and be successful as well. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll be sure to leave that link below. Get me that coupon code. I'll put that down below for the people as well. Thank you for that, by the way. And appreciate it, man. Have a great day. Thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on iTunes, do us a big favor as well, and leave a honest review if you're enjoying this content. And feel free to reach out if there's anyone else you'd like me to interview for the show. But thanks again, Jason, for coming on.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, man.